Today is the 8th of October 2014. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to this edition of Lunchtime News. I'm Katharina Chang. Let's take a look at your headlines. Depression in the Bay of Bengal. Showers expected around the country. Landslide warning issued. Tenants living along the Kalani River urged to remain vigilant. Meanwhile, Fisheries Department states that Sri Lankan fishermen who were stranded in high seas are safe. And on international news, 2 American professors attempt to break a record for underwater habitation. Now on to those stories in detail. Nuwara District Secretary DPG Kumarasiri says that motor traffic along the Hatton-Nuwara Road between Nuwara and Nanoya has come to a complete standstill in the Bangala Hatta area due to an earth slip. He noted that operations to clear the road would take at least 3 hours. Kumarasiri advises motorists to use the Talavamatana Road via Talawakale as an alternative route. Meanwhile, several areas in the island was affected by the cyclonic conditions. A number of lowlands in the Kahangama, Kuruvita, Pangama, Batugedera, Kiriyala and Karangura areas in the Ratnapura district have been inundated. Our correspondent noted that the flooding occurred due to tributaries of the Kaluganga overflowing. A number of homes in the Hittati area in Matara were inundated once again. Train travel was hampered as a result of a fallen tree at the Rajawat railway station in Peradeniya. According to a correspondent in the area, the incident occurred at around 7 a.m. Our correspondent notes that several locations along the Akurasta-Bangama road have been inundated. Meanwhile, senior geologists of the NBRO, Gamini Jatisa, noted that landslide warnings have been issued to the Kego, Kitugala and Kaduruvate areas. Nuwara District Secretary DPG Kumarasiri notes that the spill gates on the Vimala Surendra Reservoir have been opened. He also notes that a number of other air reservoirs are at spill level due to the heavy rains being experienced in the district. District Secretary notes that the spill gates of these reservoirs could also be opened today and urges residents living on the banks of the Kalani River to remain vigilant. And on to other local news, the Fisheries Department notes that the Sri Lankan fishermen who were stranded in international waters due to strong winds are currently safe and 100 nautical miles from the coast of Myanmar. Director General of the Department, Nimal Hettiarachchi, noted that there are currently no concerns with regard to their security.
Due to bad weather condition, 32 vessels, multi-day boats, they were drifting towards the Myanmar EEZ, exclusive economic zone. Now they are very safe. With the support, they are getting support from the Myanmar authorities. There are no casualties for the crew members. There are no damages for the boats also. They are waiting in Myanmar Sea until the weather conditions will become calm.
Newsfirst contacted the Sri Lankan ambassador to Myanmar to inquire into the situation of the Sri Lankan fishermen.
I was informed immediately by the owners of the boat. So the people informed that they are searching at Myanmar in Myanmar waters. So in the meantime, I was informed that there are 20 to 30 other boats also that come for the storm and they are also entering into Myanmar waters. So we have already informed Myanmar authorities yesterday to represent these people and inform where they are at the whereabouts. And after that, they will be interviewed and they will make a release.
Today is the Wap full moon Poya day, which marks the end of the vast season or rain retreat period where the Buddhist monks remain indoors.
The Wap Purapasala full moon Poya day is also called the Chivaramase or the month of robes. The appointment of Sariputta Mahathera as the chief disciple of the Buddha took place on this important day. The future Buddha to be Maitri Bodhisattva entered the Bhikkhu Sasana on a day like this. It was on Wap Purapasala Poya day that the first Sinhala Arahat Maharita Thera held the Buddhist council to bhikkhus at Thuparama temple in Anuradhapura.
Meanwhile, the Surveyors Department says that surveying of land for farmers of the northwestern province will commence within the coming 2 weeks. Chief Surveyor P.M.P. Udayakanta says that the aim of this is to certify the ownership of the farmlands. Currently, there are 30,000 farmers who do not have written certification of land ownership. Now, a seminar organized by the National Trade Union Centre was held in Ambalanthottu yesterday. The event was held under the auspices of Chairman of the Centre, K.D. Lalkantha.
When the first budget came into force on the 31st of January 2006, the monthly expenditure of a 4-member family stood at 25,344 rupees. However, as at the 30th of June this year, this value stood at 50,792 rupees. The cost of living has increased, and by the 30th of June, you need 5,792 rupees to buy the same goods that you bought back then. Salaries have not increased. The basic salary has not increased. They keep on adding various allowances to your paycheck. The salaries of state employees has not increased at all. The amount that they should grant us is 15,302 rupees. We have reduced this and we are demanding for 10,000 rupees. There is an airport in Mattala. There are highways and carpeted roads. We are not denying their existence. However, they have spent money that was supposed to be given to us on these projects.
Now, international cricket coaching consultant Dr. Rene Ferdinand say that there is an issue with the timing of the recent crackdown on bowling actions. In an interview with Newsfirst Rameshrugal Bandara, Sri Lankan-born Dr. Ferdinand, who will be appointed as the convener for the World Congress of Science and Medicine in Cricket 2015, which is to be held in line with the 2015 Cricket World Cup, shared these views.
You will be taking up a very responsible role next year. You will be taking the helm as the convener of the World Congress of Science and Medicine in Cricket. Tell us, what is this Congress all about?
Well, it's an international conference on cricket science. It's held every 4 years in conjunction with the ICC World Cup. It is a major event on the cricket calendar because it calls upon cricket scientists, cricket researchers in all sorts of fields, cricket players and coaches, to attend this event to keep up to date with the latest developments in how to play the game, how to manage injuries, anything to do with basically the development of the game for players in the future.
Saeed Ajmal, Sajjad Senanayake, Sunil Narayan, spinners like these are being reported in the recent past. Mohammad Hafiz playing for the Champions League, they've been reported. Most of the bowlers that are being reported are from Pakistan, West Indies, Sri Lanka, and teams that are actually having a good chance in the next World Cup. Do you think there's a conspiracy by the big three?
Again, this is a question for the politicians, not for the cricket scientists. The only thing I'll say is that I think at least in the Australian setup, I don't see too many bowlers that are suspect. It's a timing issue. And it is going to affect those teams significantly. One thing I will say though is that why a lot of bowlers do take to throwing the off spinner is because they aren't taught how to bowl a proper off spinner. You can still bowl an off spinner with a fair bit of spin, with a lot of variations if you learn the proper technique.
Now you can catch the entire interview on our website www.Newsfirst.lk. Now before we wrap up the news, we leave you with some footage of this car known as the Strati, perhaps the world's fully drivable, almost completely 3D printer manufactured automobile. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Katharina Chang. Have a pleasant day ahead.